Welcome everyone to your Wednesday edition of the Daily 8 here on the News 8 Live Desk. Phil Penarski here with the top stories of the day, 8 of them to be exact. Lots to get to per usual here on the Daily 8, so why don't we just go ahead and jump right into our first story of the day, which is just the latest piece in a Target 8 investigation. On Tuesday, a federal judge sentenced a Rockford area builder to prison for 8 years, the harshest possible term allowed. Matthew Mencarelli is accused of swindling 15 different victims out of more than $1.6 million by convincing them to invest in a phony fiber optic infrastructure project. Attorneys say that he used the money to not fund the project, but rather his lifestyle, which included a custom-built home. Prosecutors will now try to recoup all of the money by seizing the home, which is currently owned by Mencarelli's parents. Mencarelli told the judge on Tuesday's sentencing that he has a deep regret for his actions. Target 8 first exposed the contractor after he took $9,000 from a Rockford family and failed to renovate their basement to help with a member of the family dealing with cerebral palsy. The murder case of a former Michigan State Police sergeant who hit a man with his cruiser will not go to trial on April 21st as previously scheduled. Brian Keeley was set to appear for the final pretrial conference next month ahead of the jury trial, but both were canceled Tuesday by a federal judge. Now an evidentiary hearing is scheduled for that April 21st date in Lansing. Keeley was charged in the death of Samuel Sterling last April when Keeley hit Sterling with his vehicle during a chase. Sterling died hours later in the hospital. The case was moved from the state courts to federal court last August. And members of the Grand Rapids community are mourning the loss of Fred Brown, the founder of Mr. B's basketball camp. Brown passed away earlier this month at the age of 79. Loved ones called the Grand Rapids native inclusive, people-oriented, and caring. News 8 actually spoke with Brown back in 2017, 50 years after the Grand Rapids riots. He spoke to us about his involvement with Operation Task Force, which helped keep inner-city kids out of trouble. You can actually learn more about the life and legacy of Fred Brown right now inside our story on woodtv.com. And we head to Macomb County now, where the Sheriff's Office has released body camera footage of a fire rescue from earlier this month. The footage shows a deputy hustling to save a dog that was tethered to a burning home back on February 17th in Macomb Township. The fire had started in the basement of the home. First responders were able to save the woman living there, and one deputy actually located the dog in the snow and was able to remove the tether and keep it out of harm's way. The deputy was credited for their heroic actions in a social media post by the Sheriff's Office. And happening tonight in Lansing, Governor Gretchen Whitmer will be delivering her 7th State of the State address. It will be held in front of a joint session of the State House and Senate. The governor said that she will lay out her plan to build on the past few years under her leadership. She is expected to bring up the goals highlighted in her proposed budget, including education, support for senior citizens, and the $4.9 million for road funding. The address will be held at 7 p.m. and you can actually watch it live over on woodtv.com. City of Grand Rapids is looking to make sure residents are prepared in case of disaster with some helpful workshops over the next week. Starting tonight, the Office of Emergency Management will host these workshops that will look to and work to give residents tips to have a plan in place and be as prepared as possible. Tonight's workshop begins at 6 p.m. over at the Early Bird and will last about an hour and a half. There will also be workshops tomorrow, next Wednesday, and next Thursday. You must pre-register for the event ahead of time, and we have ways for you to do that. You can go ahead and find out over on our website. Now let's check in with Storm Team 8 meteorologist Matt Kirkwood and get you a look at your forecast today.
Coming off a spectacular Tuesday with sunshine and warmest temperature of the year. Actually, it was our sunniest day as well. Don't expect it today, as we'll have an area of low pressure moving in. You can see the clouds already, and the moisture, well, that's upstream, but it's going to be moving in as well. It's going to give us a rain-snow mix out there. Briefly could see a little bit of freezing rain as well. And overall, this is kind of how it unfolds in the hourly planner. Each time frame, I have at least a chance of a mix out there, although there will be times it will not be precipitating. Notice the wind is fairly light on the east-southeast. So the next couple days we'll actually have a chance of a rain-snow mix out there, maybe a little bit lighter tomorrow. And then looks like on Friday we miss out on a system to the north, but it does look colder on the back side of it, especially for this weekend. I think highs or temperatures much of the time will be less than 30 degrees. Storm middle of the next week, well, that is a possibility. That's a good distance away, but we'll keep a close eye on that. But you can see the entirety of the 8-day forecast. Like cool down this weekend, warming up a bit next week.
All right, thanks, Matt. We end today's show with the first trailer for an upcoming movie set right here in West Michigan. Holland, starring Nicole Kidman and Matthew Macfadyen, is a new thriller set to release on Prime Video. The opening of the trailer has Kidman saying that she wakes up every day in the best place on earth, referring to Holland, Michigan. Little is known about the movie at this time, but the trailer features shots of Tulip Time, the Windmill Restaurant, and Windmill Island Gardens. The movie will debut on March 8th at the 2025 South by Southwest Festival in Texas, but you can watch it at home on Prime Video starting on March 27th. And that is going to do it for us today on the Daily 8. We'll see you again tomorrow with 8 more stories for your Thursday. I do want to thank everybody so much for tuning into this latest edition of the News 8 Live Desk. I'm Phil Penarski, and we hope you have a great rest of your day.